Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midnight Brownies. The new generation meets the
old generation, aka OG.
And in this context, we are talking about Jurassic World Dominion.
That's right, Dominion, because you get it. Dominion, because the intro, they had the minions do the little dinosaur company.
Yeah, they had a little minion intro, like she said. Disclaimer, spoilers for the movie, obviously. It comes out technically tomorrow, but whatever, I'm not getting into the dates. But spoilers, and also we are horrible with character names. We do not remember any of them. We can know what they look like, and we know what they did, but we cannot remember any names, so disclaimer for that as well.
And this is our first movie review. It's going to be all over the place. Let's get to it. First and foremost, let's just get the rating out of the way. Me, OG, I would rate it a solid C-.
And as the new generation, I give it a C. Very meh. I wouldn't really see it again. It's not like a type of movie where I'm like hyping it up like, oh my gosh, guys, you have to see it. And there's a lot of points to make about it and our ratings given.
Yeah, so basically, I just thought it was quite vanilla throughout the whole film. Like, from start to finish, it was like there was no real, like, apex of the film, in my opinion.
It was a very slow build-up. Everyone was kind of... Because it took a minute for the old generation to meet the new generation. So it was a very slow build-up to get to that point. And
the apex should have been the final fight. Obviously involving the T-Rex. This is a spoiler, but it's not even a spoiler. You knew it was coming. The T-Rex and that other dinosaur thing, that's not the one from the new generation. It's still the one from the old generation. It should have been like all in. Like every like I was expecting kind of like a battle royale type situation in which they would bring in like as many dinosaurs from the OG generation and as many dinosaurs from the new G generation and kind of have like fight between the older dinosaurs and the newer dinosaurs. However, it ended up being a one-on-one in which the T-Rex got beat. Like I said, spoiler. And
we almost thought that it was dead. We thought that the T-Rex really did die by this. We also don't know the name of any of the dinosaurs besides the T-Rex and the raptors. So disclaimer for that as well. But yeah, we thought the T-Rex was dead.
My boy T-Rex was laid out.
They
zoomed in on his eyes and I was like, is he crying? But it turns out he was just thinking about his life and why they commonly disrespect him like this, like on the regular.
Because the T-Rex is the king and queen of all not dragons, sorry. That's a whole different thing, of all dinosaurs. But no,
he wasn't dead.
No.
And he was just taking a moment to think and reflect on life. And they have this new mofo, Edward Scissorhand looking, flipping
with a long neck and covered in like thin feathers or fur. I can never tell.
It's chicken looking mofo.
It's very chicken
looking. Imagine Edward Scissorhands and a chicken had a baby. That's what this dinosaur was. So they brought him in, and so he started rocking with the other dinosaur, and the T-Rex got up, and so T-Rex and Edward Scissorhands started tag teaming the other dude, and ended up getting the W because of Edward Scissorhands, because the other dude fell on his scissor hands.
The action throughout, not just even the ending, but throughout the whole movie has just been very meh, very vanilla, as you stated before. It didn't really give me a sense of like, wow, they're really kicking these dinosaurs' butts, except for this one part in the scene in which Claire, I believe that's her name, the wife in the movie
of Chris
Pratt, aka Owen. She's like in the jungle or whatever, and she finds this base, and there are these other dinosaurs that are like surrounding her, and one comes up close, and then you think, oh my gosh, like she's gonna get attacked or whatever, she's scared, and out of nowhere, just bam, Chris Pratt's freaking hand just comes on the screen and grips this dinosaur's neck. I'm talking like that was the most gruesome scene throughout the film. Grips this dinosaur's neck, blood coming out the dinosaur's mouth, and he ain't letting go.
Like it came out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
I was like, we were both shook in the theater. We both had to take a second look. We were like, did that just happen? We were just like, dude.
Like, God, because this whole time they're like, oh, save the dinosaurs. You know, you can't kill dinosaurs. But Owen said, nope, not when it comes to my wife. He just he killed. It was like a Mortal Kombat. It was a Mortal Kombat move, man. Like, the way he just gripped that dinosaur's neck.
Like, I would say that was my favorite part of the movie.
He was very serious about it. Very intense. Also, I've never seen a grip that strong.
That and him actually using the knife to shank the dinosaur in the face.
This man only had a knife with him to defend himself against all the dinosaurs.
But it's like, other than that, there were no real moments where you're like, oh, that's crazy. That's new. I've never seen that before. So basically, the main themes of the movie is the old generation versus / meets the new generation. Nostalgia
sells, people. This is the nostalgia era. It is a money-making nostalgia era.
And then the last theme is, oh shoot, is that a dinosaur?
yeah. So there's a scene in the plane where they're taking like 2 of the professors from the OG Jurassic Park series to the new laboratory. I believe one's Dr. Grant, and I don't know the other lady's name. But they're in a plane, and the guy's like explaining what they do in their like research lab. And as he's like explaining them, he's like, "Oh yeah, we've got the T-Rex over here. We've been trying to capture them for 3 years. Blah blah blah." And they're in the plane like shocked, like, "Well, you guys have like T-Rexes?" And like, "Whoa, look at those long-necked dinosaurs down there." As if they haven't dealt with dinosaurs before, and also as if they haven't watched the news and seen that there are dinosaurs going rampant in our everyday lives. Like, they stay just shocked running into dinosaurs. I don't know what they expect. We've been through countless of movies to where they should always expect dinosaurs to be present no matter the environment or location. They should just be ready. Like, they should have dinosaur instincts to know there's a dinosaur here. They should always be in the ready, but they stay being shocked that there's a dinosaur behind them.
I think when they were in the airplane, I think the system was called ADS, like anti-dinosaur system or something like that, failed. And they saw a shadow obviously coming around there. I think what's-her-face, Dr. Grant's girl, was like, oh my gosh, is that? Yes! It's a dinosaur! It turns out they're in the air as well. I don't understand why literally all of you are shooketh that there are dinosaurs out and about. But that was the whole point of this movie.
Yeah. And they only care about freaking baby Triceratops. They ain't care about none of these other dinosaurs. They only care about baby Triceratops. And
which is the ugliest thing I ever done seen.
There was one part in the movie where it's like, oh, it's like an old recording or whatever. And there's this very zoned out looking baby Triceratops that had us dying laughing in the theater every time it came up. Because it was no thoughts in that dinosaur's brain, man. It was just zoning out.
It was blank. It was in the Twilight Zone the entire time.
He's like, am I existing? It's very derpy, and I would go back just to make that a meme. Mm-hmm. What else is there? There's a lot that we have to say, but...
well, for me, I would say that, in my opinion, it was kind of like false advertisement. In my mind, the way I interpreted the trailers for it, I thought the main focus of the movie was going to be, oh my gosh, now there are dinosaurs in our world, like, interrupting our everyday lives. So I thought the driving point of the story was going to be, how are we going to live our lives like we used to when there are, like, dinosaurs everywhere, actually impacting me going to work, impacting me taking the kids to school, like impacting stuff that we do on the regular.
Impacting our airplane flights, because them freaking pterodactyls, man, be coming out of nowhere, attacking our planes.
However, the main driving point of the story was
spoiler.
A plague of locusts.
Yeah, spoiler, it was a plague of locusts, which is, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah, that's why I was like, at the end of the movie, I was like, wait, then I thought, what? Then this is why they're shook it that they're dinosaurs, because they just keep forgetting that it's a problem that the dinosaurs are like walking side by side with us, and at the end of the day, they were just like, well, we're just gonna have to learn to live with them.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, there's like locusts everywhere, and then they're on fire, and like, did some of them survive? Oh, spoiler for the end, the doctor that like created the locust problem, he's like, I gotta fix it, I gotta correct my wrong ways, so he like fixes them, and they're all like swarming, but I'm like, they're still alive though, like they're not like self-destructing or anything, and it's like, you created this problem that could have caused a global like I don't know what's the term, but global starvation, because the locusts were eating the crops or whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, you caused a lot of problems. You should be in jail. You should be charged with a lot of things.
And that's just another thing. Throughout the entire movie, there was kind of like no real sense of urgency, no sense of emergency, no sense of, we are in actual danger, people. We have got to get to safety now because we are within the lion's den, within the dinosaur's den right now. It just felt like I said, because it was so vanilla, I couldn't take the situations that they were in seriously, because you knew they were going to make it in the end.
Yeah. Like, one person would be like calm throughout it. There was one scene where they're like in a mine or whatever, and they're trying to get out because there's a dinosaur like coming after them. And so the one guy comes out, one of the OG people from the Jurassic Park series. He's like, oh, hang on, I got the combination code. And he's just taking his time. He's not like panicking, like pressing the buttons or nothing. He's like, oh, I got it or whatever. I'm like, dude, like, if you don't get out of here, they're going to be dead. And another thing I had with the movie is that when they were discussing, like, oh, they're experimenting with the lotuses in the sublayer or whatever, and they're like discussing like the secret plans, blah blah blah. But I'm like, you guys, this is in a high-tech scientific lab area. There are cameras literally everywhere, and they most definitely can hear you. So I don't know how they thought that this was going to plan out, like they weren't going to notice nothing, especially in their secret sublayers and labs. Like, why did you think that you could just get away? Like, of course they're going to know that you did something because there's cameras everywhere.
Like, you looked directly at it before you did your mischievous business. It's crazy. And we saw, it's not even like we're speculating that, yeah, the cameras probably caught them. We saw instances in which they were caught on camera. And it's like, well, sound the alarm now. Mm-hmm. Like, they should not be in that area. You're in trouble. Go get them. Get the people out of your top security area. I don't understand why no one is panicking. No one is rushing. Everyone was just chill the entire movie.
And also, there's dinosaurs. Like, these dinosaurs can kill you. They can literally, even the herbivores, like, they can kill you at any moment, and nobody is concerned about that. There's no sense of like you said, urgency, like, oh my gosh, we could be dead at any moment. And another point I want to say is, in terms of the environment of the movie, it once again is maintained within a lab or a secluded island or forest. It's not within like different locations. I think for the past 3 movies, for at least the Jurassic World series, the main plot has been within a lab. So there's not really, like, majority of the movie was done within the lab. Oh, you're walking through the tunnels, you're walking through the hallways, you're looking at the different labs, the experiments. There's no, like, using the elements in nature or whatever, like scrambling out there using the nature of being in the dinosaurs' natural environment of trying to get out of there. So it's all contained within a lab, which also kind of makes the action scenes a bit vanilla as well when it's all contained in this one space.
So at the end of the day, that is pretty much why we gave it a C. I gave it a C minus. She gave it a C. Because things that I thought would have made it better was if they focused more on, like, how are we dealing with these dinosaurs in our lives right now, versus just, I mean, they're there. Yeah, we know they're there.
They kind of just left it off where it started, honestly. When you mentioned the trailers, I thought that their goal was to, like, we gotta get these dinosaurs all contained. Like, I thought that they were gonna go around the world trying to gather these dinosaurs, and I thought that the dinosaurs had somehow, like, breeded and mixed together to create some ultimate apex predator that they had to stop. Like, I thought the T-Rex had breeded with some other carnivorous dinosaur, and now there's something even more monstrous about there that, like, no, this is a serious threat to us. But no, it's all about lotuses and bugs. It's like the plague aspect of it once again. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Also, in the beginning of the movie, they're herding these dinosaurs, and Owen is like riding a horse or whatever. So he's like, I don't know what the term is, but he's got the rope and he like lassos it around a dinosaur's neck or whatever. And he's like pulling it. I'm like, there's no way this man is like pulling this rope, this huge freaking dinosaur. There's no way this man is trying to like hold it down. What is it gonna do? That dinosaur should be dragging him right now.
No, he is stronger than a dinosaur.
He's not Star-Lord in this movie. He is Owen. He's Owen. I don't even know his name, but he's freaking Chris Pratt. He's just Owen. And you're just human, man. Like, you can't control this dinosaur with a rope. And
why do we only protect certain dinosaurs? Why
it's
do we
mainly
only
the
care about
Triceratops, especially babies.
Don't do nothing for you. Stop caring about them. They don't care. They rescued this sickly looking dying one at the very beginning, and he was literally sitting in the back of their truck dying, and they were like, "Job well done, everyone." And it's like, so what is your goal? What's your end goal? Are you trying to save all the dinosaurs, or are you trying to contain all the dinosaurs? What is your goal? Do you only save baby Triceratopses? Is that the only demographic you cater to?
They only love them, some Triceratops, man.
I don't get it. But, so, wrapping it up.
Well, how did you feel about, like, the interaction with the older generation? Because for me, I didn't really, it's like you said, nostalgia sells. I didn't really see them, like, I don't know how to phrase it. I feel like they could have done more. To me, it kind of just felt like that they were there. You could have, like, had them be any other character. I didn't think they had much of an impact for me personally. Even though I did watch the OG Jurassic Park, it was just nostalgia's sake, I would say.
So it really was just nostalgia.
Did they even, like, and there were so many scenes where we were in our theater seats and we were like, look at the scene, it's the old generation meets the new generation, because they would like group up all the time, and of course they would have the camera, stay on them for a bit, and it's like, oh, look at this, we got the OG actors from Jurassic Park and they're with the new Jurassic World characters. But it didn't really have much of an impact or significance. It's like, oh, and they would do callbacks, or like, I don't know what's the other word for it, but they would do scenes where it's like, oh, this was from the original movie. Easter eggs, that's it. This is an Easter egg from the original movie. Remember this scene where this happened? Except it was like less dramatic because everyone was still just like, oh, we're here. It was less dramatic when they did the Easter eggs to the original series. I mean, and I get it, when you do this type of thing where you bring back original actors from, series from the 1980s, 1990s, everyone ages, I don't put anything against the original Jurassic Park crew. I don't have anything against them. I just thought the performance in it was very meh. And people age. It happens. That's one of those things where it's like when you try to do nostalgia stuff and you bring it back, that performance is not going to be as the same as it was in the original days in the original film. So I don't have anything against them. People age. People are getting older, and they're good people. I just didn't like the performance. I thought it could have been more spiced up, I guess.
Instead of just being, hey, I'm the character from the original version of the movie.
And when there was a reunion, there's no like, oh my gosh, like it's been so long. There was no like great regrouping. Like compare it to, I don't want to compare it, but when we saw the Spider-Man, which one was it? Spider-Man Far From Home. I think there was more of an impact when we saw. Spoilers for that if you haven't seen.
Was it Far From Home or was it Homeless? It wasn't Homeless.
It was not Homeless.
But it should have been called Homeless.
It was Far From Home, I think. I think it was called Far From Home. He should have been homeless. I mean, he was, but that's another thing. His home blew up. But spoilers if you haven't seen that, which you should have. But in that sense, where Toby and Andrew came in, there was more of a like, oh my gosh, like they're back. And it was like it was funny when they met because like, who are you, And it was just, I think they played it better in Spider-Man Far From Home versus in Jurassic World Dominion. Because when they met, it was just like, hey, how's it going? It's like somebody that you met from high school. There was no like, this is a reunion. You guys remember, like they're back. There was no sense of that for me.
Well, for me, I did still get, like, obviously it's still nostalgia because they're bringing back characters that you knew from the past into your present day version of the film. But in the Spider-Man series, for me, I think they had a better balance of nostalgia and also this is still Tom Holland's movie. So you guys are here to bump the movie up. So you're here to add to the movie. You're not here to remind people just about your movies. You're here to actually contribute to the movie's plot. Whereas for Jurassic World, it just felt like they were there because they were in the original series. And their job was to remind you, hey, we were in the original series.
Yeah. So as a old generation, aka, 90s babies, like how did you feel about them bringing it back? Did you feel it was necessary, or you felt like it could have just been done with, a recasting of any other character?
I didn't feel like it was necessary because it was already like the Jurassic World series was already, in my opinion, so far removed from the plot of the first original 3 Jurassic World, Jurassic Park series, that it can stand on its own. It doesn't need the Jurassic Park facts to be able to be its own thing. Even though from the first Jurassic World they have included stuff from Jurassic Park because it's still part of the same cinematic universe, I don't think Jurassic World has to have it to be a decent movie. As a matter of fact, I feel like this movie would have been better if they focused more on the Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Like the world is being impacted by dinosaurs aspect of it versus, hey, this is part of the Jurassic Park cinematic universe.
Yeah. And reflecting back on the Jurassic World movies, I would say the first one for me, honestly, it had more like, I don't know, I think I was more invested looking back on the first Jurassic World. I think the dinosaur scenes were cool. I think the action scenes with the dinosaur fights were better in the first Jurassic World. And even though it took place on the island, I think they were using the environment of the nature more so in the first movie, and they used that well with the rolling the spinning balls or whatever. It had the mobile vehicle. Bill Nye was in there. Somebody was in there doing a demo video when they went into the spinning balls. But anyway, I think they used the nature and environment better in the first movie. There was definitely more of a sense of urgency in the first movie for sure. Like, holy cow, the dinosaurs are out. It's a repeat again, but this time it's not just us. There are actual other innocent people here.
I think it's because you physically saw people dying. Even though, so it impacted me emotionally because I was seeing people die, even though it did not impact the characters who were within the world as much as it should have. Like, holy crap, the dinosaurs are loose and they're actually killing people.
Like the pterodactyls, they were lifting people up. The ocean, the water dinosaur was jumping out of the water. Like, you saw more like actual visual death.
Violence.
Yeah, you saw...
This movie was missing a lot of violence.
Yeah. Which is sucky to say, but in terms of the first movie, yeah, there was more violence. You actually saw that, like, dinosaurs are dangerous, you know? Like, they're not just, oh, they're creatures. Like, no, they were extinct for a reason. They're dangerous, and they are actually... They're killing people. You saw kids crying, I think, in the first Jurassic World. And there was just so much more action. There was more sense of, like, adventure, urgency, like you said. You felt more invested in it for the first movie. The Andromedus Rex. I don't know the dinosaur name. And I would say that fight scene was better than, I think, both Jurassic World. Then... At the first Jurassic World, with the fight scene with the T-Rex and the Andromedus Rex or whatever, I think that was the best one, honestly, out of the current films. Because I don't think the T-Rex got whooped as badly as this one. This is probably the worst I've seen the T-Rex get clapped.
This dude was laid out, crying.
Laid out,
crying on the rocks. T-Rex laid out, crying on the rocks.
Like, it's not even like it got a few good hits and like, yeah, you know, like, no, like one bite and the T-Rex was done. And then even when it came back, the fight scene was very short. And that was supposed to be the climax of it. But the fight scene was super short. When it came back up from being passed out, it was just like, it pushed it into the Edward Scissorhand dinosaurs and that was it. It didn't have a good few like licks in. So comparing that to the first T-Rex versus another apex predator fight scene in the first Jurassic World, I would say has the better representative. Like, no, this is the T-Rex, will always remain the apex predator.
And for me, another thing is unrelated, but since the whole premise of this was basically nostalgia, why didn't you go all in? The black girl, her character name, I'm looking it up, I think it's Kayla Watts. I thought when I first saw the trailer that she was Jeff Goldblum's, you know, the character named Dr. Ian Malcolm's. I thought that she was his daughter from the second movie. But it turns out, no, she's just a random character. But if she had ended up actually being his daughter, to me it would have made a lot more sense why she's in this movie. Because they could have put her, because she has a great estate, because her dad is part of the movie. And he's in Biosys, was that his name? Was that the name of the company?
Yeah, Bio something.
Yeah, Biosys or something like that. He was actually within the company, so she would have a stake as to go try to help this girl because her dad is also involved in this whole situation. But this girl is like, I mean, it's not like she's a horrible character. It's just like, I'm not attached to you because like you came out of nowhere and it's like you're linked to them because you happen to see the girl.
Yeah.
You saw her for a couple of seconds and you didn't do anything. And so now you owe them your life.
But the girl didn't even talk to her. She just looked at her.
So that's why I'm upset with Kayla Watts, because I don't think it should have been a whole new character. I think it should have just been Dr. Ian Malcolm's daughter from the second movie. Because then you could do more nostalgia callbacks. But now her parts were just like, okay, let's move on. It's just she was being a quirky new character. And now let's go and move on.
And in regards to what's the character's name? The girl that was like the clone.
Clone girl? Macy? Macy Lockwood.
Yeah, in regards to like Macy Lockwood, she's like from the moment she came on the screen, you could tell that she was in her edgy, her angsty teenage phase,
It's like
and
it's fine if like she did something to add to
but
the
she
plot,
did
but she
not.
didn't do anything
And
to
she,
add.
of course, she went the route where, oh, you're not my parents, you're not my mom, don't put your freaking hands on me or whatever.
Oh God, now I'm in danger.
Yeah,
You're
and
my parents.
yeah,
You're my
I
mom.
love you guys, my mom and my dad or whatever. And she was kind of just there. She didn't really do much besides like help with the baby raptor, I guess. But yeah, I was just like, oh, she's there. She's in her angsty teenage phase. And she kind of got herself in that situation, I'm not gonna lie, because leading up to the point where they get to the Biosis lab, there was this bridge that she would ride her bike across to get into town or whatever. And, they're planning to kidnap her because they needed her for some scientific experiment. So she's riding the bridge with her bike, and there's this lady that's just standing there on the other side, and you can see it. The bridge is not hidden by trees. There's nothing like covering it up. Like, it's a pretty open, straightforward bridge you walk across. So this lady, I know she should have seen this lady just standing there on the bridge looking at her, looking very ominous, wearing all black with a black van beside her, and she's still just riding her bike up to her, and then she's like, oh, who are you? And then boom, that's when she gets kidnapped. But I'm like, you saw this lady. I know you did not see this lady. You chose to continue to ride your bike on that bridge after seeing this very ominous looking stranger on the bridge. So she kind of got herself into that situation, I'm not gonna lie.
And then side note, I feel like White Shirt Lady, if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I think she was in the wrong movie. Straight up, I think she went to the wrong set and they were like, let's roll with it. And she just kept whatever character she was supposed to have for her movie, and they just filmed it and put it in the movie. Because the way she was acting, I was like, do you know this is Jurassic World? Did you know that?
She acted like she was in Fast and Furious or your typical action spy film.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be, because she was dressed in the nice like clothes, like, ooh, I'm the sexy henchman. Like, nothing revealing, but she was like in the bougie stuff. She was the delivery woman. But I'm like, you're in the wrong film. She needs to be in another action type film. One thing I want to say with, like, I know I keep saying like a lot of times. Forgive me, guys. But one thing I want to say about the visuals of the movie, there were some moments, especially when it came to like, especially when it came to up close shots of the baby dinosaurs, there were some moments where it looked like they used puppets instead of CGIing the
Not
dinosaurs.
like
They did, in fact, look like puppets from the 90s.
I told you, I'm pretty sure it's just to like call back nostalgia.
But when we're so used to seeing this realistic looking CGI, for me, I'm not going to speak on everyone, but for me, it kind of threw me off when I saw that it was a puppet. I don't know how much you care about it, but I just know it's like, that's definitely a puppet, because the movement would be more stiff, and compared to all the other CGI dinosaurs or whatever, like, nope, that's a puppet for sure. Which, for the time of the original films, the puppets were great. Really great visuals. But when we're so advanced with special effects, CGI, all of this stuff going on with the effects team and whatnot, it just kind of throws me off just a bit.
Yeah, I'd say it didn't blend well. It's not like, because like, I don't mind puppets, but because you have such advanced CGI scenes immediately after the puppet, it's a bit jarring. But like I said, I'm sure they did the puppets on purpose as a callback. I don't know, but I'm guessing. And it was fine back in the day, but now it's like, because like it did give us some laughs. I'll say that. Especially because for some reason the baby dinosaur designs were just Just get off the Triceratops.
Some of the designs look like, I know it's not hair, but it looked like they had hair. It's probably fine feathers, but I didn't really care for the dinosaurs that had the feathers on it.
Chickens.
Yeah, the chicken type dinosaurs. One of the dinosaurs in the little fight club or whatever looked like it belonged in Star Wars, because I didn't know what the heck it was. It was hairy, and it was a small hairy little thing, but I'm like, what are you? It looked like it belongs in a sci-fi movie.
As far as things that I would change about it, I thought the guy who created the problem in the first place with the locust, at the end of the movie, when he does his little whatever DNA science mumbo jumbo jank to apparently rectify what he did, and he's out in the field, his arms all spread, he's all happy and stuff. I thought when the locusts like flew off into their little swarm, I thought they were gonna circle back, surround him, and kill him. I know that sounds violent, but this movie needed a touch more violence to like really get me. And it's like, I think that would really help him repent, you know, for all the crap that he's put us through for all these movies. And I really thought they were just gonna swarm him and they were gonna take him out, and he was just gonna be like, you know what? I deserve this.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of blood besides the hand scene where he grips the dinosaur. We're not kidding.
And there was another scene. I'm not saying there was no violence. There was another scene where like there were two dinosaurs on this guy's arms and they were eating them. I'm not saying there's no violence. I'm just saying that the level of violence and the type of stuff that happened just wasn't as intense or like taken seriously as movies of the past.
Like when a dinosaur chomps or attacks either a person or dinosaur, obviously they're not going to show you the dinosaur chomping on the person's head because that'd be graphic, but they would like signify it by showing like a pool of blood or whatever, like there was blood somewhere or another, but there was not a whole lot of that. And I just wish there was more interaction, I guess, with the dinosaurs. There's a lot of focus on the people in the lab group. A lot of just like okay, can we move on moments with the lotuses. I just wish the fight scenes with the dinosaurs were better, and I wish we got more interactions with the dinosaurs being out in the world.
Mm-hmm. Because it is Jurassic World, and that's what I wanted because this is it. This is the finale to end the Jurassic series. So I was just expecting the emphasis to be placed upon there are dinosaurs walking around when I'm trying to get my groceries. This is a problem. I cannot drive my car down the street without seeing a Triceratops eating some grass. That's a problem. So we didn't focus on that very much. So I still feel like we didn't close anything up. We didn't close it.
No, it's just like they're out here in the open now. They're with us. We got to deal with it. Mm-hmm. It's not even like they came up with a solution to deal with the dinosaurs. No. They just said leave it be. But they're still attacking. I know they're still running into cars, running into traffic.
But they could have had a lot of funny moments of the dinosaurs interacting with our everyday lives. So I feel like they had missed out. That's a thing that I would have changed, is if they had focused more on our interaction with the dinosaurs. There could have been more like little poking at different things where you're trying to do something average, like going to the ATM and you see that little pygmy looking thing and with his friends coming to get you, and then people just running away. I just feel like there's so many like little things they could have done to focus on to make it part of Jurassic World versus Jurassic Park. So basically it was meh.
Yeah, like I said, I give it a C. She gives it a C minus. I don't know how it is for some people, but that's kind of how it is for us. Again, it's not a movie that I'm like, you guys gotta go see it. I'm like, you can wait for it to probably end up on streaming somewhere.
Oh, sidebar. We went to see it Thursday instead of Friday. for opening because I had purchased inflatable dinosaur costumes literally just for this movie because I was so on the hype train when the trailer came out and I saw Chris Pratt come out with a knife to fight a dinosaur. I was like, I'm game. And then to see what it ended up being was just kind of a letdown. Just because I had a vision of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it completely derailed from what I thought it was going to be. And that's why I had to give it a C-.
Yeah. So, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the visuals and whatnot, so you can go watch it for yourself. Mm-hmm. But that's our review, and who knows if we'll do another movie review. This is the first one. Maybe we'll get better at memorizing characters and being specific about the scene, but you know what?
I'm gonna tell you right now, we won't. I'm not doing that. I don't do that.
Yeah, we probably won't. Just we're not professionals at this, but yeah.
Let us know what your favorite part is, what your favorite part was for this movie.
Personally, I miss Margarita Man. Yeah. I miss funny moments like that.
But that was like a funny moment from Jurassic World, not associated with Jurassic Park. They weren't just banking on nostalgia. This one was just like, hey, look, Jurassic Park is here too.
They made the two doctors from the original series get together. I forgot their names.
I had already in my heart, I was cool with it. I was fine with it. I moved on with my life. And so now it's like, okay, well, I don't care.
Because they're getting older, you know? It's like, okay, we moved on. It was supposed to be a lesson in moving on. But, yeah, that's our review. Go watch it for yourself. Let us know what you think. Well, let us know what you think they can improve upon. And if you feel like there might even be a reboot, personally, I feel like they're kind of done with the effort that I'm seeing. I don't see what else more they can do with dinosaurs, especially since they left it off of like, well, they're part of the world now. They're part of our everyday lives, so...
Like I said, the next route that I can see potentially happening is series, because that seems to be where everyone is going nowadays. So I can see them doing a series spin-off, but I don't really see, at least within the next decade, reboot of the franchise, of the Jurassic franchise. So that just about wraps it up. So until next time on
Midnight Brownie.